On behalf of the entire fitness industry, I apologize. If we've made strength training too complicated, this is for you. We're going to uncomplicate it with three moves and help you understand the how, the why, the what, and the modifications that you can use no matter what at home. I'm Deborah Atkinson. I'm the founder of Flipping 50, and I'm doing a little behind the scenes podcast recording and interviews this afternoon. So, a different setting. But what I'm going to do is show you actually as I demonstrate, and I'll talk over with a voiceover the cues to three specific types of exercise. We're going to go through a pull, a push, and a leg exercise. And look, if you're wanting short, sweet, effective workouts for times when you're low on energy, you're low on time. And even for those of you who say, no, I have plenty of time, I'm retired, I can do this, whatever I want. You know, I'm going to have you question that because if we're spending hours and lots of time, your recovery, not just your muscle and bone density, but your endocrine system, your cortisol and adrenals may take a hit. And that may be part of why, if you're tired and not better, more energetic from working out, that might need fixing. Stay to the end. I've got something for you if that's you. But here's what you're going to get in these three exercises: modifications so that you can make them more difficult or easier for traditional versus functional movement, ways to take a traditional and make it more functional. But you're going to see me do them in an at home setting or a couple instances where in a gym. So you can replicate that move with dumbbells or two backpacks, fill them with books, and you can do this all at home. So hit me on the other end. Let's go through this and go one by one so that you understand very clearly what I mean and what is good form. The first exercise I'm going to demonstrate is a pull. So we want to work the muscles in the back posturally. I'm doing a standing bent over row. Now I could just as easily sit down. The form would be the same. My weight right now is on my heels, slight bend of my knees. My hinge happens at the hip. You can see I have a small arch to the lower back, as should you. My head and neck, ideally, I'm keeping that down, and you can see I look up because we will tend to do that. Another example, just so you can see it from a different angle. So yes, I'm in the gym and I'm using a bar, but you could equally have two dumbbells, one in each hand. You could be holding on to a backpack full of books in each hand and doing the same thing. Weight is on my heels, slight bend of the knees, hinge at the hips, slight arch to the back. I'm keeping the elbows at my sides and shoulder blades pulling together. Now, we don't always want to do these kinds of things, but what else can we do? I'm going to show you other ways that you can do a pull exercise for variety. So let's say also your lower back doesn't like it when you're doing standing two-legged. Standing one-legged takes pressure off of your lower back. This staggered stance you could try with two arms, but I'm giving myself and my back a little more support by dropping one hand down. If you have a bench and you're at the gym, you can do that too, or in your basement. But I'm going to use a chair. This happens to be just a seating area outdoors at our chipping pad. But notice the back comes flat, parallel to the ground or to the bench. Slight arch of the back, however, is still true. Both knees are bent, even the back one, but the importance is my back is easy, straight. I'm pulling and able to focus. I don't have to focus on form if my lower back bothers me. It's a great alternative. Will take longer. This again is more of a functional exercise, but still a pull. So I'm lifting and rotating, and I'm doing it well if I rotate least of all. So hips not rocking side by side. I love to take it outside. This is for those of you who say, lifting is so boring. Listen, when you feel good, you're at optimal body weight and energy, it feels good. It's motivating. It becomes more fun. But take it outside. I do this all the time. I've done it on a deck in Colorado. I've done it outdoors on the lawn on a yoga mat in Iowa. This is outside in summertime in Arizona. So same thing applies. Low rocking. This looks like something else. You might think this is a push exercise, but it's still a pull. This is equivalent of potentially a lab pull down that you might do at the gym. It's called a bent arm pullover. I'm being sure I keep my lower back on the floor and I slightly bend my elbows, and then all movement occurs from the shoulder. So notice I'm not flexing and extending at the elbow. The movement happens from the shoulder, and there is a little bit of core work going on while you're doing this. Just another option for variety's sake. Now let's go on to the push exercises. If you wanted to do a workout, you were just going to choose maybe one pull, one push. This is a chest press. And yes, I'm at the gym, but this could also be your decked out gym at home if you've got lots of choices. So I have a bench here. You can also be on the floor and stopping my elbows, even parallel to my back. I'm going to show you this when I'm at home, but I want you to note while I'm at the gym, I use dumbbells. I do not use a machine. That's just personal preference. If you are feeling you need the support, machines are great. Now, making this a little more functional, I'm just lifting up into a bridge. So I have my core, my glutes more active than if I was lying down on the floor. Nothing wrong with lying completely flat, but realize, again, you have options. So notice I'm also changing it. So instead of moving up and down both arms, I'm alternating the arms, or I'm choosing to do all one arm while I'm holding statically the other one. Those variations give you something to think about. They keep it less than static and boring. So those of you that need lots of stimulation, there you go. So again, this one is an easy one to take outside. If you've got a mat, or like this, I've got a chipping pad making it very soft. So important, I'm down now, just the distinction. So if you need to focus on really lifting a heavy weight, I would suggest down is more stable. Couple things I want to call your attention to. Keep the elbows closer to your sides. We do not want to wing out to the side like you have to if you're lifting a bar. If we don't need to, we're avoiding shoulder stress. So why wouldn't we do that? You're also going to get a little more activation of your triceps, the muscle in the back of your arm, while the elbows are closer to your sides. So you're lifting up, nice straight line. Knee to hip to shoulder, that's an option. But if you get distracted, feel like you can't coordinate all that, that can come later. And the last of your 3 exercises is a leg exercise. You want to choose something that crosses many joints. So notice my ankles, my knees, and my hips are flexing in a squat as they would in a lunge. That means more muscle groups are activated here. And a squat is something we do all day. Even if we have bad knees, we say I can't squat, you are doing it when you sit and stand into and out of your bed, the car, you name it. It's happening. So if you can get your placement and your form better or more optimal, you may in fact be able to do this. My option I'm showing turned out through the toes and the knees. Again, an easy one to take outside. Those of you that get bored doing it inside, I want to call your attention to a variation here. So I am turned out because for me that's comfortable through my hips. You could have knees and toes facing forward, weights out to the side in this case. But notice if you're at home, you could wear a weighted vest. I've been using them for 2.5 decades with clients who exercise at home. But notice what I just did. I'm coming down, I'm pausing at the bottom and then pushing my heels into the ground, pausing just a little bit at the bottom, and you could pause longer, holding 1001, 1002. That's going to make it a little bit heavier feeling, even though you haven't changed the weight. So when you feel limited and not able to reach fatigue at home, try those tricks. Another leg exercise is for those of you who cannot do squats or feel at the moment you can't. This is a hamstring curl. Very, very important that you're working the hamstrings in balance with your glutes and your quadriceps. The knee will be happier for longer in your life if that's true. Now, this is a more functional exercise. This is not the first one I would choose. I would choose something that uses major muscle groups. You're using right and left leg at the same time for time-saving purpose. Those of you that want a little more variety, this is just a gift for you. Focus on where you're putting the weight. And this goes for squats or anything else you're doing in a standing position. If you feel pressure in your knees and think you can't do squats or lunges, chances are you may have never been given the proper cues. Shift your weight back to your heel. Otherwise, you will, if you go to the ball of your foot, be putting pressure on the knee. So shift your weight into the heel, then you activate the glute. Notice though the back stays nice and long and straight, all the way hinging at the hip. That's it. So we're talking about pulling. And when we pull, we're talking about pulling the shoulder blades together. We're talking about your trapezius muscles, your latissimus dorsi, smaller muscles that are in there coming to play, your rhomboids. Major muscles really responsible for postural muscles holding us upright, preventing us from that rounding forward. In a push exercise, we're talking about overloading the muscles of your pectoralis major and minor that run across your chest. We also end up working our triceps and anterior portion of our deltoid or shoulder muscle when we're doing that. Now, what we want to be sure of is that even when we push forward, we don't go forward. So you're pulling back together, kissing the ground, the floor, or the bench that you're lying on as you push forward. There's a big difference when you're doing it that way. In the leg exercise, easiest one to do, so major muscle groups are going to get worked, is a squat. We sit and we stand on the toilet, number one, from the bed to a rising position in the day. But if you have issues with your knees, the substitutes that I showed you, getting down on the floor, and I know with your knees that also may be problematic. So we've got to do other workarounds for you. You may want to work with someone who knows your body, who can see you and know your limitations in order to do that. Don't come out here and go to YouTube and look for something that's custom for you. It's important that you are apparently healthy, you're able to do most movements pain-free, and there's no restrictions. And if that's not the case for you, go find a professional, work with a medical exercise specialist who can help you not just with the exercises, but who can help you with your condition and know exactly what ideally you would and would not do, and can coordinate that with your allied health professional as well. So with a squat, easiest to do, but if you can't do that, we get down on the floor, we do bridges. We do bridges on the floor, we do bridges on the ball, and we can do hamstring curls on the ball. And by the way, those of you that are doing lots and lots of, say, squats, maybe you're doing wall sits and lunges, do not ignore your hamstrings. You need to do hamstring curls. Those of you who are doing deadlifts, go you. I don't demonstrate them to the masses, because if I can't see you and correct you individually, we're not on a Zoom, I can't see your form, I don't throw those out, because a lot of women get injured in the high hamstring pull and or their lower back because of improper form. So earn your deadlift. If you're doing them, they can be great if you've got good form. I don't dislike them or disregard. However, I want no one to get hurt, because nobody can get fit. Nobody can live longer if they're injured constantly, and we can avoid that. Okay, so I go safe first. I go basics first. We all are squatting. All right. Let me know if you have questions and if you need help. We're rolling out the 10-day Hot Not Bothered Challenge. It is one of our favorites. It's absolutely one of the top performers in terms of helping people get started, which is our number one job. Those of you who are here, you're consistent, you're looking for what's next, what else don't I know? I love you too, but take a girlfriend who's not doing it to the gym. 80% of us, 80% probably of your friends and mine are not exercising enough to impact their health, metabolic health, not fitness and performance. just their metabolic health. That means the chance that they will die sicker, fatter, and weaker is greater. And if we could prevent that, shouldn't we do it? So let's make a change.